Come on. There we go. Hello. Good. I think we're good. It says we're live. I've got an audio. These ones shouldn't take too long, I reckon. Said that last time, it took an hour, so only uphill from here. Okay, I really hate this picture. I think where do I want my microphone? I think I have to charge this in a way. Okay. Alright. We've got an oil tanker. This is a terrible picture, by the way, but it's a really cool question. So there's an oil tanker. It's here. So you'll imagine that, like, it's a three-dimensional picture, but it doesn't look three-dimensional. It kind of does, but not really. So it's a 3D picture. There's this tanker. You imagine that it's kind of looking like diagonally towards it. So it's sitting here, like there's a ship here. It's got an oil spill. So that oil spill is, I guess, making this circle. So this is all oil. It's increasing. So you can see that one of the previous questions has a rate at which it's increasing. So like it's expanding the oil within the water. There's a person standing here above sea level. So it's kind of like this is a cliff or something. This person's looking at this oil spill. And the rate of change of the angle at which they view it, so like this angle here, increases. So in other words, this circle is just getting bigger. Instead of describing the rate of change of r, which is actually what it wants us to find at the end, it's showing us the angle. It's actually given us the angle. So this person's standing on a cliff. This is at sea level. This triangle, you'll assume, is kind of like on the floor. And this is the three-dimensional part. So it's a really strange picture, I think. And it's not really obvious, but this triangle here is like, how would you describe it? Like it's a flat circle, and then it's like sticking up like, how can you even see that? It's sticking up like this. The person is standing here, looking at this circle that's like expanding. So this triangle here, and I think a key part of this, it's worth only 2 marks, but there's not that many people that got it. Now I think it's because this triangle here is isosceles, and you can't really tell that from the picture because the picture just looks stupid, I reckon. I don't know. Anyway, I hope that made some sort of sense. But we're trying to find but I'm just gonna redraw the triangle. So A to the end. Right. So I'm going to redraw this weird looking triangle so it kind of makes a little bit more sense, hopefully. You know how good I am at drawing things on here. So you've got this right angle triangle, which is like the flat area. Then you've got a circle coming off T. That's my radius. R, T, P. That's 450. That's 2,000. It's in kilometers. Now it says that, let me draw this in a different color. There's a triangle here, right? And this is such a strange picture. That whole angle is 0.1, and each of these little angles is 0.05. It's back. Oh, good. Sorry, I do that because I can see like a little, what do you call it, like a wavelength thing that spikes whenever I click. Okay, is that everything? 2 kilometers. There's another point. Let's give these things names. P, M, N. So get some notifications. Now we're trying to find R at this angle. So there's not really much information other than the fact that, and it's purely by observation. I think it's a bit of a leap to get there, but this triangle that I've drawn in red, like I was saying, is Oh my god. For God's sakes, okay. Is isosceles, so that's P, M, N, that's R, that there is 0.05, you see that? Yeah. That's T. And so if I wanted to find what R was, I'd need, well, I've almost got enough information, I just need to know what PT is. So if this was opposite and adjacent, so I'm just looking at the right hand, that triangle there, we've got tan 0.05 is equal to R over PT. So that means R is equal to PT tan 0.05. Is that all right so far? So that's kind of, I like to start where I want and then figure out what I need, I guess. So the only thing I'm missing is PT here. So I look back at my triangle and PT just happens to be the hypotenuse of this nice triangle. So PT squared is 450 squared plus 2000 squared. That means PT is equal to square root 450 squared plus 2000 squared, 2050. That means R is equal to 2050 tan 0.05. Now everything's in radians, so I need to make sure that I'm in radians. Oh no, I've got this weird calculator for 2050 tan 0.05. That's around about 0.2, 102.6. What are my units? Meters. Okay, so that's a. I feel like that's a weird question because of the picture. I don't know. What do you reckon? Is that picture to you like satisfactory? Do you reckon you'd be able to decode that picture in an exam condition? Because I feel like I'd be staring at that for ages. I don't know. Just because it's like half 3D, half not 3D. Anyway, you could annotate this a little bit. So you could say, just so it's a little bit more obvious to the reader, you could write triangle. So this one was this triangle, so PMT. And here I was referring to this triangle, so I could write PT, I've got no name for this, PMNO, PTO. You said the picture was bad, but when you drew it, when you went to redraw it, you basically drew the same thing. Yeah, but I wanted to, I wanted to be able to draw on it for starters, but secondly, I wanted to just identify that part as the key ingredient, I guess. I don't know how you, in defense of the HSC, I don't know how you draw that any nicer. I can't think of a way you draw that any nicer, unless they gave you a side view or something. I don't know. All right. I'm not sure which part's the band 6 part. I think it might be the next one. I feel like anything that involves a chain rule is considered band 6 for some reason, because you can see that here they've given us d alpha dt, but they want us to find the rate at which the radius is growing, so dr dt, and they've only given us one. So anyway, so we want the rate, so we want dr dt. I always write what I'm given and then I try and match it. So I'm given d alpha dt, and in order for this to cancel, I'm going to have a d alpha on the bottom and a dr on the top. So then that and my t's and r's look the same. That and that will go, and I'm left with what I want, so that's nice. So d alpha dt is given, which is 0.02 times dr d alpha. So now I need to figure out what dr d alpha is. Well, I already know what r is. So what can I write that? R is equal to 2050 tan. Now I need R in terms of alpha. At the moment I've just got R in terms of like a number, but recognizing that what I started with for this value, so where did I get this value? I got it from recalling that this whole thing is alpha, which means this is half alpha. So that means my expression for R in terms of alpha is alpha on 2. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so that gives me an expression for R in terms of alpha. Now I can differentiate that. So then dr d alpha is equal to, so that's times by the derivative. 10 becomes sec squared. Keep the inside. That's 1025 sec squared alpha on 2. A on 2. Is it an A? Alpha? Oh, that was you responding to before. Yeah, nice. That's it. Okay, so then I can go, therefore, well, this implies dr dt is 0.02 times 1025 sec squared alpha on 2. I can simplify that. It doesn't really matter, does it? But I want to know, it says at this time, so at the same time, so when my angle is 0.1, so in other words, at alpha equals 0.1, dr dt 0.02 times 1025 times sec squared. 0.1 on 2 was just our original 0.05. I type all that into the calculator. 0.02 times 1025 times, oh damn it, sec squared. So 1 on cos squared 0.05 squared don't do this to me. Why won't you let me type that in? One. It's giving me a syntax error. Why is it giving me a syntax error? Sec squared 0.05. Why you give me syntax error? 1 on I don't have sec squared on this calculator. Cos 0.05 squared. I don't know what I did wrong then, but it wouldn't let me type that in. Now it's let me type it in. I used brackets before. Anyway, equals 20.55. Right, what did that mean? That was the rate at which the rate, oh, that's the radius, so meters. Per, it was in hours, meters per hour. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened then. I typed in cos and then I put brackets around it and put squared, and I didn't like that. But then I just typed in cos and put a squared on it. Fit. Or maybe. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Okay. I hate typing in second stuff. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I don't think that was that bad. 20. Well, you beat me to it. 20.5. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I don't think that was that bad. It's the picture. I honestly think the picture is the hardest part about that question. Alright. Now, yeah, Tuesday I was saying that my least favorite thing is combinatorics. I reckon my most favorite thing is projectile motion. Because you know when you check your answer and it's supposed to make sense? These make sense. Except for the picture. I don't like the picture in this case, and you might be able to shed light as to why they've done it like this, but I can't figure it out. I'm just gonna go to the picture. So the cannonball's fired from a castle wall at that velocity, which they want us to find or prove. Its position is fired from its origin. So that's basically implying that this is the origin. Here's our position vector, S. If the projectile hits the ground at a distance 8 times the height, so this distance here, when it hits the ground, is going to be 8h, show that its initial velocity is this. Now, I don't like this picture because it says, like just reading this, obviously this part's the y component and it's going down, but this x component suggests that it's going to the right. Does that make sense to you? Like it's traveling in the positive direction, but the picture suggests that it's going to the left. Can you see how it doesn't matter at the end of the day, like it could be fired this way, but I just think it's strange that they've given a position vector where the x value seems like it's traveling right? I don't know. It doesn't change the calculation or anything like that, but I don't know. I feel like the picture's a bit strange. I'd like to hear your opinion on that. Anyway. Okay. So, we want, if the projectile hits the ground, show that its initial velocity is that. Okay, so when it hits the ground, and in the next question it says v is positive. Yeah, exactly. So that was, if they've given it to you like this, you'd be suggesting that, oh, okay, my v must be negative for that to make sense. But then they've told me that it's positive. So, because it would work if it was, yeah, exactly. But, and then you might think, oh, well, time must be negative, but that doesn't make any sense. So, I don't know. I feel like this picture's backwards to me. Yeah. Anyway, but like I said, it doesn't really matter, but whatever. Anyway, we want to find out when the projectile hits the ground. So that's the time of flight, so how long it's in the air for. But it's a little bit confusing because you're starting, your origin is like in the air, and then you just start off going like below the origin, if that made any sense. So like if I drew a graph, I've got this. Like if that's my origin, and then obviously my Cartesian plane, normally you're trying to find the point at which it hits x equals 0. But in this case, maybe looking at it from the other side. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, normally you're trying to find when it hits the x-axis, but in this case, you're trying to actually find the point where it hits the ground. But the ground is, if this height is h, then this is negative h. Does that kind of make sense? So you're normally looking for x equals 0, but if it's starting at x equals 0, because that's what they told us in the question, then the point where it hits the ground is actually where x equals minus h. Oh, sorry, when y equals minus h, the height. So the time of flight, in our case, is going to be t, so the time, when y equals minus h. Does that make sense? So you're starting at the origin, and you're going down to minus h, the height of the brick wall. I just touched my glasses. So my y value is minus a half, I'm just taking this off the question, minus a half g t squared equals minus h. So that's just from my y component of my position vector. And then I just need to solve that. So I'm trying to get t by itself, so I'm trying to find t. So gt squared is going to be 2h. T squared is going to be 2h on g. T is going to be square root of 2h on g, and I'm taking t to be positive because that makes sense, because it's time. Now, that's the time at which it hits the ground. We want the actual value for, what do we want? We want the initial velocity. So the only representation of the initial velocity that we have is via the x component, so here. And they've told us something about the x component, and it's that it hits the ground 8 times the height at which it was fired. So going back to the picture, so you imagine it's like this. That's my velocity. It hits the ground at 8h, so 8 times the height. So that means x equals that. So that was y, that is x. So we're looking for v when x equals 8h and t equals, no, why I wrote an 8 there, that. So this is where it hits the ground. This is when it hits the ground. Okay, I'm terrible at drawing diagrams. Anyway, let's leave that. Okay, so my x component is just vt. So I've got x equals 8h. Just write it that. That means vt equals 8h. And this is nice because now I can get v by itself. I know that t is, I don't need that, square root of 2h on g equals 8h. And now it's just a matter of making, the picture implies that it is minus 8h, but then you'll get a math. Yeah, good. I didn't pick that up. Yeah, that's exactly right. The picture implies that that's minus. And then that would be minus. And then you get a math error. That makes so much sense. I didn't pick that up. This is a dumb picture, don't you reckon? Like this should be, there's no reason why this is facing this direction. It should just be facing the other way. You'll also notice that it's not part of any test. SM Bank just means the Smarter Math Bank. Smarter Math is the website where I get this from. It's just that they make these questions. There is no valid reason as to why that is pointing to the left. That makes sense. Good pickup. I did not consider that. We're basically considering this direction to be x positive, which just goes against everything we learn from like year 7 onwards. Anyway, v equals 8h times root g on root 2h. So we've got to make this look like the goal is 4 root 2hg. Okay, that's the goal. Now, what have I got on the bottom? Let's just write this as a fraction. 8h root g on root 2h. Let's rationalize the denominator because this doesn't have a denominator. Root 2h, that's going to be 8hg root 2h. That's going to be root 2h squared, which is going to be 2h. So then this is 4, the h's go, root 2hg, as required. Yeah, that makes so much sense. I didn't think of that. It's an easy trap to fall into because you might start working on this as if it's minus, and then you get to this point and you're like, well, hang on a minute, doesn't really make any sense. Anyway, but 2 marks. All right, very last one. This will be quick, 23 minutes. Okay, I don't think you'll like this question because it's a little bit counterintuitive, but I'm interested to hear what you think. Show that the total distance the cannonball travels is expressed by that. Now, a couple of things I guess you might want to take from that. It's the integral from 0 to the time at which it hits the ground. So just by looking, let's zoom in on that. So this is the total distance. This is an expression for the total distance. Is the last answer expression ever? I don't know. What do you think about this one? It's given us an integral, and it wants the distance, which is basically saying it wants the magnitude of the position vector. And we have a position vector. It's s equals, damn it. Oh, I should memorize it. It was v t I plus, no, minus, that was it, wasn't it? J. Damn it, was that it? Yep. Is there any more after this? No. Oh, no, there is. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, there's 3 more. What was I saying? Yeah, so this is the distance, and then we have an expression for the distance, but it wants like it's asking for an integral. So, but I already have an expression. So the implication is that it wants me to differentiate, find the magnitude, and then integrate. The second the sound cut out again. Hello? I hope we're good. I'll just keep clicking until you say something. My fingers are sore. Have I actually cut out? Please? I could just type everything I say. That would take a while. 83%. Are we good? Do I keep talking with the assumption that it's working? Alright, we'll keep going. I'll wait for you to say something though. So I'll start substituting stuff. So in here, well, I guess that's it. Because I know my V from the last question is working. Okay, good. So the V from the last question was 4 root 2hg ti minus. Okay, yeah, so what do you think about this? It wants me to represent the distance as an integral, but I have an expression for the distance. The only thing I don't have is a way of describing it using an integral in terms of the flight path. So the only thing I would then think of doing is differentiating it to get a value for v, and then that would be where the square root would come from if I went to then find the magnitude of v. And then if I then integrated that with respect to time between the two values for time in my flight path, then this is how I would get this. But I don't know why it's asked that. I don't know why you'd be asked to do that. Like I said, this isn't like a HSC question or anything, so I think it's just like a clever question that SmarterMaths has come up with. But yeah, we'll see. I'll see what you think. So when I integrate this, that'll give me, so ds dt will give me the velocity. So give me an expression for the velocity. That makes sense. Oh, it does. Okay. Yeah, so if I differentiate that, then this t will just go. So this is 4 root 2hg. I love that they don't ask us to input g. Minus, and then this just all pretty much goes. So that's just gt, j. So then if I find the length of the velocity, that's going to give me the square root, whoops, of, let's just write like this, 16 times 2hg plus g squared t squared. I'll do all that in one step. I hope that's not too bad. So it's just that squared. So that's 16 and that disappears. And then squared. Then I can start simplifying this. So this is where the 32 comes in. hg plus g. And then if you factor out a g, you actually get the expression that you want. So 32h plus t squared g. What was it? gt squared. gt squared, all right. How do I want it? Okay, and then the distance is the integral of the flight path, which was from time 0 to root 2h on g, of the magnitude of the velocity with respect to time. So then that's 0 root 2h on g, and all that. So g outside of 3 to h plus gt squared with respect to time. That is required. Does that kind of make sense? I feel that's a weird question. But I guess it just comes from, I don't know, just like kind of working backwards from what they give you. Because if they just said show that like if they ask for an expression for the total distance, wouldn't you just give them this? Like, wouldn't that be enough? Close your bracket. Yeah, I almost forgot. I haven't integrated anything today, have I? I was going to say, because I haven't forgotten any plus C's. I don't think. No, I've only differentiated. Yeah, right. Anyway. Yeah, we've got, sorry, 4 more questions. So, might do them. Oh, but yeah. Do you know that you're getting an exam pack next week? Do you know about that? If you, oh, you might not because you're in year 12, because you're not in year 12. Oh, actually, I might need to look into that. So all of year 12 are getting the trial exams that they would have gotten, and they're getting them sent home in week 9, so next week, and then you have all week to attempt them and then send them back, and then the teachers mark them. So I don't know if you've been told that or not, but if not, I can just send it to you and you can have a go at it. But I was just going to send you the trial that I would have given you like earlier in the term, and then I was going to mark it, and then I can spend. So then I wouldn't do this in week 9 unless you wanted, and then I can go through it with you in week 10, unless you just want to keep doing this, because there's this question, this next one. One of the parts of it, only 2% of students got right. So I might spend a whole, like, this is a lot of marks. That's 3 plus 1 plus 2. That's 6 marks. Might go through this in one video. And then there's these 3 left. I haven't looked at them, so I don't know how hard they are or anything. Of course, they're all combinatorics. But yeah. Did you know about that? Because if not, I'll just send it to you next week. And if you want me to go through it, I can go through it. But if you don't, and you just, I guess, want some work solutions to it, then we can just keep doing this. I don't really mind either way. Okay. But yeah, I feel like those questions weren't too bad. Really smart enough. This one can't be too hard. This one just looks complicated because there's so many factors to win and lose. Yuck, use that identity. You actually can't be asked something like that because that's been taken out of the syllabus, that notation. I don't know. I think I heard something about somewhere. I heard about it in the advanced classroom. Oh, oh yeah, I posted that yesterday. All right. Yeah, well, all of year 12 are going to get like in the mail a package that has 5 or 6 exams depending on how many courses they do. So I might just upload it. I'll upload it in where's my mouse? I'll chuck it in here. Like in here. I'll make it week 9 or something and I'll just put your trial in there. And then if you want to have a go at it, um do you want me to make it an assignment so then you can take photos of it and then I can mark it? Do you want me to do that? Because otherwise you're not going to have a way of submitting it. Because the whole idea was that the students kind of take it semi-seriously. So you allocate 2 hours and 15 minutes or something, and then have a go at it properly and see how you go. Kind of like, well, exactly the same as how you did your advanced trial, I guess. So I might do that. Would you be happy to take photos of it and then, like exactly what you did, like for your submission? Then you can just email it to me, or maybe email's better, because then I get a full PDF, then I can download it. Yeah, maybe that's better. I hope Chloe's alive. Okay, we'll do that. So I'll post that Monday, and you can just do it whenever. Um, Do you want to still do this? That was my other question. Do you want to still do this? Because we can go through this really fun looking spherical question. Like, what even is that? Why would it be different? Yeah, well, I don't know, actually. Probably wouldn't. I didn't even know that was still in my classroom. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. I'll make it an assignment then. Yeah. And then you just upload it to Google Classroom. I can delete that now. I'm gonna increase that. When's that? That's really soon. This next Tuesday. Oh, that's a spanner. Is that actually next Tuesday? Okay, well then we can't do this. Yeah, so next Tuesday, you've got this. I better message Chloe, make sure she goes. So um, I got asked to respond to the person that runs this, and they asked me what this class is like and what you might benefit from for 3 hours. So it's like a workshop that's catered just for our class, so just for you and Chloe. So I'm curious whether I'd like it if Chloe showed up, like if both of you were there. But yeah, it's just it's gonna. When is the advanced one? Yeah, oh, of course, yeah. So it's. Let me go to the class. It's the following Wednesday, so 9 till 12. I'm pretty sure it's just on. I don't have any more details than what I put here, but I'm sure it'd just be like a Zoom link or something like that. I don't have. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's just a bloke talking, and he'll just go through stuff, and you can like exactly what we're doing essentially. But yeah, this one's next Tuesday. I might email Chloe and see if she's okay. But yeah, it'd be pretty. I think it'd be all right. So you'll get like a summary booklet as well, which will summarize the content. And then the bloke kind of asked me what topics you wanted more assistance on, and I just said it'd been a while since you've seen some of the Year 11 stuff, so maybe like some of the earlier Year 11 stuff. But I basically just said a summary of the whole thing would be probably beneficial, and I said the same thing for advanced. So if you want to join both of them, there's no reason why you can't do that. I guess the link will just be posted in here. Well, I'll post it, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to have any extra information at the moment. So yeah, that means I can't do next Tuesday because you'll be in this. I definitely need to revise the vectors. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh yeah, like projection and all that stuff. That was ages ago. Yeah. There's so much space on the back of the formula sheet there. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, and then when you do extension 2, there's literally 3 formulas for extension 2 that are on there. Like 3 mechanics ones, and they're easy as anyway. It's like, well, that's really generous, thank you. Not. But yeah, I might post in here now, and I have not heard from Chloe in like 4 weeks, I reckon. I did post in the advanced classroom though. Sophie's the only one that responded. That's nice. Anyway, what day is it? Thursday. So I'll send out a message maybe next Monday, just the day before, so that just to like remind you and Chloe, hopefully. But yeah. Um, wait. Yeah, and then I'll also send out the trial. Let me write that down. I'm gonna forget this. Message. So I'll message about the trial exam, and then I'll message about the workshop. And yeah, if the person in there asks, I don't know who they are, what they're like, but just type in there that you need a refresher on vectors, but I'm pretty sure they're going to do the whole thing. Anyway, I think that's it. If you have any, because I'm not going to hear from you for a week, if you have any questions, just reply to my post that I'm going to make, or just email me or whatever. But I'll make it an assignment so you can submit it through here. And then I should be able to mark it. I'll just mark it on my iPad and I'll send you the file back. Like I'll just draw on it like this. Well, that was going to be like a 25-minute one that turned into 40 minutes, so oops. But yeah, these questions were all right. I didn't mind them. I'm still confused about this backwards question. I might ask Mr. Debenham. I might, oh, it's not showing it. About this backwards question. I might ask him, see what he thinks. Because you're right, that should be negative 8h. I didn't think of that. That's really smart. Anyway. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll post. Wrong tab, yeah. I'll make a post, and then you can reply on that. Right, goodbye.